Hello friend, today we are going to start DOM in JavaScript. Okay, now this is the formal definition. The full form of DOM is nothing but document object model, and it is used to add, delete, change and manipulate the content of HTML and CSS. Okay, it is nothing but it is used to just target the element of the HTML tag and also change and update the CSS of that element. Okay, now after that we have some method to target our DOM. This is used to target by default all, and after that we can have this is to use in index format, and after that we can use document.element to get the element. If we want a head tag, then we use document.head, and if we want to know the title of the document, then we use title, and if we want to know the all tag of the HTML of body, then we use document.body. And similarly, want to know how many images, how many anchor tag, links, forms, and this is the starting of HTML5. That's why we provide exclamation mark doc type html. Okay, so it will tell you that, and after that we want to know the URL of the document, then we use document.url in uppercase. And if we want to know the base URI, then we can, it is similar like URL. Okay, it will return you like URL. Okay, now after that if we want to know the domain of that web page, then we can use document.domain. Now after that we discuss about most useful method to target DOM. Okay, now the first one is the get element by ID. Here we can provide the ID name of our tag. For example, if I have h1 tag here and I provide class, sorry, not class, here I provide ID equals to heading. Okay, you can provide any, then we can use this name to target this h1 tag. And similarly, if here I provide the class name, then we can use to target this h1. For example, I provide class. Okay, this is our class name heading, and if we provide here class name, then it will target our h1. And if we want to target any tag, we can use h1 tag, p tag, anchor tag, and so on, like image tag and so on. Now we will see how we can practically implement DOM in JavaScript. Okay, now we are going to practically implement DOM. For that we have to just I created an index.html page and then css.style.css, and after that we have script.js. Okay, in the script file we have not code anything yet, and I link these two files, style.css and script.js, in index file. First we link here in heading the style sheet, because I use in the same directory, that's why I just provide the name. If you using in different directory or different folder, then in that case you have to just use the path. And after that I link my script file at the end, because if you write in the beginning, that maybe some error you can face. Okay, so that's why to avoid this error, I just use script in the last. Okay, here I again provide the name.js because I am using in the same folder. Okay, now after that I just use script, and then we provide where element, and after that just semicolon, and then element equals to document, and after that semicolon, and then I just use console.log, because in our website, this is our website that I designed. You can do the same. I will provide you the link Don't worry about the code. Okay, this is just a basic that we discuss in HTML and CSS tutorial. Okay, if you want that, I will provide you an I button. Okay, now just I have this code. That's why I cannot use document.write. That's why I use console.log. Okay, now I just do the some error. Okay, I just use console.log, and after that I provide element. And now let's say you can see nothing is happening here. Why? Because I use in console. I just right click and here going to the inspect, and after that going to the console. You can see by printing the document, here we use document, then it will print the whole our document. You can see if I just expand this here, or if I hover, you can see our whole document is selected. Here this is our HTML tag, then head tag, nothing is here because we have basic base. You can see in this title bar, and we have body. You can see all the document. If I hover and hover, you can get the all document, HTML document, with the help of document. Okay, now after that we have document.all. Because this is already deprecated, but I'll show you how we can use it. Just use document then all, and after that just save. You can see this line is here because it is deprecated. You can see. Okay, now we can see the list of array in the form of array. Okay, you can see we have list of array form. In index 0 we have HTML, index 1 we have heading, title, link, body, and header, class. Okay, if you want to target some particular, for example I want 5 index. Okay, I just use here this, and after that provide 5. Now let's save. You can see heading is targeted. Now you can see if I hover, just you can see it is selected. Okay, now after that we have document, just removing this document.document element. Now let's say you can see all the element is loaded here, and after that we use document.head to load the heading in our console head. Now let's say you can see we have heading here, title and the link, because we have only these two things. That's why it shows us title and link only. And after that we have the document.title. Here if we want to know the title, it will return us the value. Now let's save. You can see basic web page, and here you can see basic web page. Okay, now after that we have body tag. You can use body. Now let's save. Okay, here we go. We can select the all body, and similarly if you want to expand, just use this. Okay, now after that we have image. If we want to know how many images we have, now let's save. Okay, we have two images, image 1 and image 2. If I hover here, okay, we can provide the index also. Let's do that. Just save. They have only this image. The second one, I hover. Okay, the length and width you can see. You can see the height and width of this image, and name of this image is this. Okay, now after that we have anchor, and I'll show you how many things we have. Okay, here you can see we have anchor tag, link tag, form tag, doc type, URL, base URI, domain. You can find similarly. Okay, now we are going to use document.getElement by ID, and here we provide the element, here we provide the ID name in single quote or double quote. And after that, let's see the id name. For example, I have list1, list2, list3. Okay, now let's first use list1. And now let's say, you can see we got the id L1 here. If I hover, you can see this is selected. Okay, now if you just use here a scroll, you can see we have within this list we have anchor tag. And after that, get element by class name. Now elements and element, because you know that we can provide a single id to a single tag, but we can provide single class to multiple tags. That's why we get elements by class name. Okay, here we have s, because we can provide single class to multiple tags. Okay, now here we provide class name. For example, I choose nav. Here we provide nav. Now let's say, you can see we have nav as a in the form of array. We have single nav and the length of nav is 1. If I hover, you can see nav is selected. Okay, now after that we have get elements by tag name. Here I just remove this. Get elements by tag name. Right, tag name. Now let's say, here we go. We have two tags in our document. If I select, you can see this is selected, and if I just select to the another one, you can see this is the second one. Okay, now similarly we can select nav tag. For example, nav. Now let's say, if it if we if you have nav tag, it will select the nav tag. For example, we have nav here. Okay, so this is how we can use document.getElement by tag name, class name, and id name. Okay, and we can also use document.all, document.documentElement, and so on. How we can use to get and set the value of document with the help of document.getElement by id name or class name or tag name. Okay, first of all, what we do with our DOM. We can get HTML, we can get text, or we can get attribute. And similarly, we can set HTML, we can set text, and we can set attribute. We can use inner text to get the inner text of the tag, or we can use inner HTML to get the HTML value, and we can use get attribute to get the attribute, and get attribute node we can use in the same way, but there is some difference we will discuss in practical implementation. And after that we have attribute, also we discuss in our practical implementation. After that we have set method of text and HTML is same, but to set the attribute we have to use set attribute. And after that we have attribute, which is same, but we can also use to set the attribute. And after that we have remove attribute to remove a specific attribute. Okay, now we are going to practically implement how we can do this thing in our JavaScript. Okay, in our last video, we see how we can get element by ID, and here we provide the name. Okay. Now similarly, we can use get element by ID, and here we provide dot inner text. Now let's save. You can see we get hello, and then the some demo text, which is hello and dummy text. I'll show you. We have container id here in this div, and we get all of this div container text. Okay, similarly we get inner HTML. Just do that here, HTML all in capital letter HTML. Okay, now let's save. You can see we get the same result with tag name. Okay, now after that we have get attribute. So that we use get attribute, and after that we provide the name of the attribute. Here I use class name. I want the class name of this attribute. Now let's save. You can see contain because in this div we have id. We use id to target, and we get the attribute as contain because our class name is contain. And after that we can target also, like we have style, so we use style. Now let's save. You can see we have color cyan because we use here color cyan. Okay, now after that, if we want to target our, for example, I provide here on click, on click, and after that I provide class name XYZ. Here I provide on click function XYZ, and now we check with the help of this. We use on, and after that C in capital, click, on click. Now let's save. You can see we get XYZ. Now similarly we can use get attribute node. Here we provide class. Now let's save. You can see we have class, and if we just expand this, you can see we have value contain. Okay, if we target our style, we use style. Now let's save. You can see we have style as cyan color. Okay, now after that we can target our on click, on click. Now let's save. You can see we get attribute name and the value of it. If we want only value, we can just use dot value. Now let's save. You can see we get the only value. In case of class also we can have only value. Class. Here we provide class. Now let's save. You can see now after that we have attributes. For that I have to just remove this and use attributes. Now after that let's save. You can see we got all attribute of our container. First is id, second is class, third is style, and fourth is on click. Okay, we got the length also 4. Okay, if we want to target style, we pass the index to 2 because it is array type. Now let's provide 2 here. Now let's save. You can see we get this cyan color. Or if we want the only value, then we provide dot value. Now let's save. You can clearly see we got the value. If we want the name only, then we can provide dot name here, and let's save. You can see we got the name. Okay, now we are going to see how we can set the value of DOM. For that we have same inner text and inner HTML, but we have, instead of get, we have set attribute, and we have again attribute which is same of our get, and here we have a special one which is remove attribute to remove the attribute. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement. Okay, here I just use document dot get element by id, and after that I provide container, and then we use dot inner text. First of all we set the inner text. Here you can see our inner text is, you can see here we have contain here you can see we have h1 tag, p tag. Okay, now if I use here hello friend, now let's say you can see this is changed by hello friend, and after that you can see we okay, here there's something which I don't do, that is dot inner text. Now let's save. You get hello friend here and here. But what if I comment this out? If I comment this out, you can see our hello and some dummy text appear here, or you can see we can also in console. If we run this line, you can see we change the inner text of the container. Okay. Now after inner text, we can change this with the help of inner. We can change inner HTML. Now here we have to provide the tag because we have h1 tag. Now I just copy this, copy and end with pasting here. Now let's save. You can see our hello friend is now capitalized. Okay, or you can see unreferenced because we have used xyz, or which is removed, that's why it is showing an error. Now I just remove, you can see the error is gone. Okay, similarly you can get element and set element of html or inner text. You can use inner html and inner text, set the value. Okay, now after that I just remove this, and here I use dot set attribute, and here I provide class name. I want to change class name because we are using id. We cannot change the id. If we change id, then this will not targeting anything, and it will show an error, or it will return null or undefined, or you get some other thing. That's why we can use class name here. And after that I change this class name contain with a, B, C. Okay. Now after that we have to target here also. I just use get we use get attribute, and here we provide class because we want to get the class name. Okay. Now let's save. You can see nothing is changed, but you can here see this is our ABC. If I style something, then you can able to see the change. Here I choose style sheet, and here I just remove this, and I use A, B, C, and then provide background color to red, for example, and I choose border border 10 pixel solid solid blue solid blue. Now let's save. You can see our background color is changed, and our we got a border of 10 pixel solid blue. Okay, if you want to change the color, because we provide in inline tag, you can say inline tag styling, that's why if we change it will not reflect, because it provide this style to priority. It will provide priority to this style, not our external css. So that's why I am not providing here. Okay, I just changed some decent color. I use green. Now let's see. You can see now it look much better. Now after that we can use attribute here. Okay, I just remove this. I can remove attribute. Here we have to provide an indexing form, because you see in previous getting method we get attribute in the index form. So we use, if we want to change the class, we have first 0 index, then 1 index, so we change 1 index value. Here I choose class, and after that I provide A, B, C. Now let's save. Here you can see it is not changed. Why? Because we have to use dot value to change the value. Okay, now let's save. You can see it will reflect it here. Okay, and after that we have remove attribute. For that we have to just use remove attribute, remove attribute, and here we have to provide the name of attribute we want to remove. Here I want to remove class. Now let's save. You can see we have null because we print the class name, so that's why we get null. Okay, you can see our class is removed. Okay, for example, if I just undo, okay, I just copy this entire line here, copy. Now let's save first. You can see the change. Okay, you can see the change. Now here I paste this, and here we remove our class. Okay, class. Now let's save. You can see this is gone. If we want to remove style, you can see the color of this text is changed. I just remove style. Now let's save. You can see our blue color is gone. Why? Because our inline style is removed. Okay. Now after that, if we want to remove some other thing, we can do with the help of this. If we have like on, click, and then we have method something like x, y, z. Okay, now if we want to remove this, we can remove this with the help of style. We use on, click. Now first let's print this without on, click. First I just commenting this, and let's save. You can see it print us xyz. Okay, now I just uncomment this. Now let's save. You can see it will show us null. Why? Because this on click is removed with the help of this remove attribute method. Now we are going to see two methods, query selector and query selector all. It is work like get element by id, class name and tag name, but in here we just provide something. If we want to target the id, we have to provide css selector, css selector. For example, in like in css you can see if we want to target class we use dot operator, and if we want to target id we use hash operator. Okay, and similarly if we want to target some specific we use dot. For example, if we want to target this p of sub element, you can say we have sub here. If I scroll down a little bit, here you can see we have class sub and we want to target this p element, then we can use advanced selector, which is we provide the class name and then we provide the tag name to target a specific element in JavaScript. You can see here we target our image, and if we want to target something like I'll show you, if we want to target header nav, then we provide header and then space then nav class name. Okay, this is how CSS selector work. If you want to know more about it, please check out in I button. I will provide you the link. Okay, now after that, if we want to target our class, we use like dot xyz, and after that we can target the element. What query selector is do is it will give you the first match, and after that it will stop and give you nothing. Okay, for that problem we have query selector all. It will give you the all value that is matches. Okay, now we will see how we can do that. For that we have to just here we remove here get element by id. We use here query query selector. Okay, now here we have to provide hash because we are targeting id. Okay, now after that you can see this is abc. It will I just commenting this or I just remove this. Okay, now after that we can get also. We just use here query selector, and here we have to provide hash. Now here we have to change class because we are going to change the class, so we use class here. Now let's save. Nothing is printed. Okay, fine. Okay, why it is not appear? Because we just remove has with class name. Oh, we have to just save. Now you can see it will working fine. Okay, after query selector, now let's see the difference between query selector and query selector all. For that, here I provide my class to 3 in H2 and in div and in image and in paragraph. Okay, now just we have to target dot my class. Now let's save. You can see it will print as null because it is not in capital case. Okay, I just use in a small case. Now you can see our first heading is printed, but if I use here query selector all, now let's save. It will give us an array of list. Here we can have 0 index my class of title, and in image in second index, and in third index we have paragraph. Okay, now here we can also use indexing. I just use index 1. Okay, now let's save. You can see we have image. Okay, you can clearly see. Okay, here we can get the value of inner HTML. We can use dot inner HTML. Here we provide index 0, which means we want to get the value of this heading. Okay, now let's save. You can see this is printed. If I use here 1, then we get the inner HTML of 1 index, which is an image. You can see nothing is printed because we don't have anything. If we use 2, now let's save. You can see we have this is our text which is printed in our p tag. Okay. Similarly, we can provide here our tag name. For example, I use h1 tag. Now let's save. Let's see how many h1 tag we have. It shows us we have only one h1 tag, which is our heading. Okay, if similarly if we use p tag, let's save. You can see we have 3 p tag, this one and this one, and you can see the length. If we want to target or we want to get the inner HTML, we use here 1, and after that dot HTML inner HTML. Now let's save. You can see this is our second element paragraph, p paragraph. Okay, if we here use 0, it will give us first paragraph value. Okay, now we are going to see how we can style our element with the help of DOM styling, and after that we see class name and class list, how we can change the attribute value with the help of class name, class list, and also we see the difference between class name and class list. Okay. Now we are going to first see style in JavaScript. Okay, first we have to declare var element semicolon, and after that we use document dot get, or we can use query selector, and after that we provide here has container. Okay, here you can see we have container id of this table. Okay, we want to get this. Okay, style. Okay, and after that we provide dot style, and after that we provide dot, not just dot, and here which style we want to get. I have only color, so we can get color dot color. Okay, now after that we provide semicolon, and then we use, here we have to declare element equals to this. Okay, now after that we use console dot log, and after that we use element. Now let's save. Here we have to inspect, and after that we come to console. You can see we got cyan. Okay, now if we set here like background color, we use background, and for like background color you use hyphen in CSS, but in JavaScript we use camel case color. Okay, now after that let's save. You can see we have nothing because we don't have in our styling, we don't have background color. Now let's provide background color. Background color, and after that I provide background color as blue. Now let's save. You can see our background color is changed to blue. Okay, now after that if we want to set this color, for example I want, just I here come here, we don't need to initialize an element, we just use document dot query selector, and here we provide hashtag container, and after that we use dot style dot, let's provide border equals to 5 pixel solid green. Now let's save. You can see, and we can similarly, I just copy this, copy and paste. I just use border radius. Now after that I have to remove this, I just use 5 pixel. Now let's see. You can see if I use 50 here, you can clearly see our radius is, now our border is having radius. Okay, now similarly you can provide any property and you can get it in console, or I will show you in element. Here you can see our, let's find our container. Here you can see our container, and here you can see we have container id, and then style, you can see background color, and after that we have border. Okay, we have border radius, which we provide with the help of JavaScript DOM. Okay, this is how we can apply style with the help of DOM. Okay, now after that we are going to use, I just copy this from here. Okay, and I come here and I paste this, and after that we use class name. Okay, now I just remove this. Okay, Now after that we use equal, and after that we provide the class name. With the help of class name we can get the value or we can set the value of class. Okay, I just use a b c. Okay, now after that I change here also, I use dot class name. Okay, now after that let's save. You can see now I come here, you can see ABC is printed. Okay, now here you can also see in our container we have class ABC. Okay, but you can see in our HTML we don't have any class. Okay, I just remove this. Okay, okay, I just removed this. Okay, now after that, if we provide styling to ABC, you can see the change. I just use dot ABC, and after that I provide background color and and after that we provide border 5 pixel solid red, solid red, and after that we provide back border, after that we provide border radius 5 pixel, or let's say 10 pixel. Now let's save. You can see it is applied to our document. If we add another class, we can just separate with a space, and here we provide x, y, z. Okay. Now after that I provide here same, I just copy and change the value of it. I just use here x, y, z, and after that I change color with blue, and I change radius color with green. Now let's save. You can see it will give us this color. If I hover here in styling, okay, we have to select our container. Now you can see our border radius and tan color is cancelled and this XYZ is applied. Why? Because it gives the priority to the last one. Okay, if we add another one, for example, I add PQR, or I just copy, I already copy, I just paste here. Now I just use PQR and change the value red to orange, and here I choose violet. Okay, now let's save. Okay, you can see here, you can see our PQR class style is not appear. Why? Because it is present at the top of this. It applied if I provide here. You can see if I provide here. Now let's save. You can see this is applied. Why? Because it take the last moves. If I provide this at the end, you can clearly see if I provide this at the end, you can see, now let's say, you can see it will give the priority to the last, which is used in our CSS styling. Okay, now after that you can see our return class is in the form of string. Okay, now let's we do that with the help of class list. Okay, I just change here and use list. Okay, now after that let's say, you can see nothing is changed, and we add the class, and here if we use list, you can see the change list. Now let's save. You can see we got the DOM token list provided the array form of this class. We have three classes here. The value of classes we print here, and zero index we have ABC, and index 1 we have xyz, and index 2 we have pqr. Okay, we can have another method to add the class. For example, I just copy this. Here I provide class ABC. Now let's see. Okay, now here I just remove this list, and I use here dot add. Now after that we provide the value. For example, I use xyz and then comma pqr. Now let's say, you can see we got value of pqr and xyz in our list. Okay, after add method we have remove method. For that we have to just add abc, xyz and pqr. Now after that we just here provide remove, and after that we have to provide the name which class we want to remove. For example, if we want to remove abc, now let's say, you can see our pqr class style is appear. And here you can see we have only two value in our array. Okay, now if we want to remove comma, after comma we want to remove x or p q r. Now let's say, you can see now we have only x y z. Okay, similarly we can remove x y z, just separate with comma, and after that provide x y z. Now let's say, you can see all class are removed from our list. Okay, this is how we can use style, class name and class list in DOM. Okay, we already see how we can call the event with the help of inline event method. We here provide, in HTML we here provide tag name, and after that we provide the event name, for example on click, on mouse enter, and after that we provide the function, and we define this function in JavaScript, and after that we provide the key text here, and then if we click on this hello, it will trigger this function. Okay, and similarly we have p, and we provide on mouse enter, and after that we provide the function, and we define this function in JavaScript, and when we enter to this keyword lorem, this event is triggered. Okay, now similarly we can do with the another method, because if we do this inline event, then it will very tedious to provide each and every tag to inline event. So that's why we use here, we use these method. Okay, okay, now we have this event in JavaScript: click event, double click, right click, mouse over and mouse out. Okay, and we can call this event in, normally we use on click, on mouse enter, on dbl click, but in add event listener we just provide the name only. If we want to trigger click, just we use click, and if we want to trigger this event double click, we just use dbl click, and after that we can provide the name, or we can define the function here also. Okay, and here we can just define the function name, and after that we provide the functionality. Now let's see how we can do that. Okay, now we are going to implement how we can target event. For that I just use document. We don't need to provide any variable. We use document dot get element by id, and after that I provide the id name container. Okay, here you can see we have to, now we are targeting this tag. Okay, now after that I just use dot, and after that we provide the event name on click. Okay, now after that we provide the function name abc. Okay, now let's provide semicolon, and after that I provide function A, B, C, then we provide curly bracket, and after that we use document.getElement by ID, and after that we provide container, and after that we use style that we discussed in our last video, and after that we set the color, background color equals to, here I provide red. Okay, after that provide semicolon. Now let's save. Okay, when I click here nothing happened. When I come here and just click, you can see this event triggered. Okay, similarly you can just provide mouse enter on mouse enter. Now let's save. You can see when I'm here nothing happened. When I come here you can see. You can also use on mouse leave. Now let's save. Okay, here when I come here nothing happened. When I go down you can see this event triggered. Okay, now similarly we can use addEventListener. For that I have to remove this and use .addEventListener, and after that we provide the event name. We use click here. Now click, and after that I use the same name ABC. Now let's save. You can see nothing happened. When I come here nothing happened. When I click you can see the event is triggered. It means this is working fine. Okay, now we can provide another event on this. Just I copy this, copy and pasting here, and I change, click with mouse enter. Okay, now I just change this with XYZ. Okay, and here I provide function XYZ, and after that I just copy this because we are here changing the CSS. Okay, I just paste here, and here I change border with background border, and after that I use 10 pixel solid green. Now let's save. Okay, when I, here we have two events, one is mouse click and another is mouse enter. When I enter you can see this event is called. When I click here you can see second event is also called. Okay, now after that we can also provide this XYZ function here also. I just provide comma and use function. Okay, now after that providing the round bracket and curly bracket, and here I just copy this. Okay, I paste here and I just remove this, and here I use border radius, and here equals to 50 pixel. Now let's save. You can see it is gone, and I come here, I just refresh. When I come nothing happened. When I click this event is triggered. Okay, here is the error. When we provide the border radius we have to first provide the border. Without border we don't have border radius. When I come here you can see this event is called. When I click here you can see second event is also called. Okay, here you can see we are targeting the same element, so we don't need to provide here again. I just use this keyword, and after that here also I can use this keyword, this, to refer, because we are using the same, that's why we can provide this keyword. Now let's save. Okay, now when I come here you can see it is triggering the event. Now when I click, it is also triggering. Okay, this is how you can sort your code. Because we are using the same, we can provide this keyword to remove the redundant code. Okay, now we see how we can remove event. For example, we have this event only ABC, which change the background color red. When I come here, you can see it is changed. Okay, now after that I use another function. For that we have to just add the event first. To remove the event, we have to add the event. Okay, I just copy this and paste here. I copy and paste here, and after that we use addEventListener, and after that we provide click, and after that comma I provide XYZ function, and after that we use semicolon, and here we provide the function XYZ, and after that we provide paste, and here we use remove event listener, and after that we want to name the event that we want to remove. I just want to remove mouse leave, and after that we provide the function name ABC. Okay, now let's provide the semicolon. Now let's save. Okay, when I come here and just click, you can see our event is removed. Okay, if I refresh, you can see when I come here and just remove this event call, and I refresh and I come here and click, now this event is removed. This is how you can use addEventListener and remove event listener, and this is how you can provide event in JavaScript with the help of addEventListener, or you can use on mouse click, on mouse enter, and so on. Okay, now we are going to see classList method. First we have add to add the classes, and then we have remove to remove the classes, and after that we have toggle. You can think toggle is something like switch we have in Android phone or in iPhone. Okay, when you click here, it is on. When we click again, it is off. You can think toggle is something like that. Okay, now after that we have contains. Contains is used to check whether a class is present or not. It will return true or false. It means it is a boolean type. Okay, now after that we have index. You know that we have class list which return our classes in the form of array. For example, we have A, B, C class, X, Y, Z class, and after that P, Q, R class. Okay, we have 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and if you want to know in which index which class is present, then we use item. Okay, now after that we have length. Length is something that we already see in our array video and in our object video. It will return the number of elements present in our class list. Okay, it is a property, and all other are method. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement class list in JavaScript. Okay, now we are going to practically implement how we can use class list method. Okay, first of all, this is the document we are using from our DOM. Okay, that's why I'm using same. Okay, here we target container. You can see we have div of container ID. Okay, now after that we are using addEventListener, and we provide click event, and then we call this function on click. When I click here, you can see this color is changed to red. Now after that I just remove this. Okay, and here I use class list, and after that we use dot add, and then provide the class name that we want to add. I want to add XYZ, and after that we have to print this to check whether it is successfully added or not. We use var a equals to, I already copy and just paste this document.getElement by id. Now after that we have to print console.log. Now after that we provide a. Now let's save. You can see nothing is here because we are printing on click, or you can see we don't have any class in this container table. Okay, I just click. You can see class xyz is added, and in console you can also see. Now let's style with the help of css styling. Now I just use dot xyz, and after that I change the background color to red, or you can say to orange. Now let's save. Okay, here you can see nothing is happened. When I click, this color is changed and this class is added. Now similarly we can add multiple classes by providing comma separator. I can add pqr. Now let's save. When I click here, you can see two classes added, and even if we want to add more, we just use exg. Now let's save. We have to provide in code. Okay, just make sure. Now let's save. Now let's click. You can clearly see three classes are added. You can also see here we have three classes. Okay, now I just use here, I just remove these classes and provided here in index.html. I just remove, and here I provide class xyz pqr exe. Now let's save. You can see this class is added because we are not adding with the help of event. Just now I just use remove, and after that we provide the class name. Here we provide xyz. Now let's save. When I click here, you can see our class is removed. We can also remove multiple class. I just use comma separator pqr. Now let's save. First we have to provide in codes. Now let's save. This is added. When I click here, you can see we have exe class left. If we want to remove this, we can also do that using exe. Now let's save. I just click. You can see all classes empty. Our class is now empty. You can see. Now after that we have toggle. For example, I just remove this, and here I use toggle. Okay, toggle, and here I provide xyz, and here I provide toggle pqr. Now I style pqr with the help of css styling. I just copy and paste here. I use background color to be green. Now let's save. Okay, when I click, okay, I have to provide pqr here, pqr. Now let's save. Okay, this is taking xyz class because it is adding in inline. Okay, now when I click, you can see it is green. When I click back, it is now orange. Click green, click orange. This is adding and removing. Okay, now you can similarly do toggle, and after that we have contains. Okay, for that we have to just remove this. Now after that I use contains, and here I provide class name xyz. Now let's save. You can see when I click, it will give us this value, but we have to just provide. Okay, now here we have to store this value to print. I just comment this. And now I just paste here. Okay, equal. Now let's save. Okay, when I click here, you can see it will give us true because we have XYZ class. When I just change ABC, you can see we don't have ABC class. I just use ABC. Now let's save. When I click here, you can see it will return false. Now after that we have item. For that we have to just provide we have three class. For that we have three class XYZ PQR EFG. Okay, now I just use item. Now here I provide in round braces index number. In zero index we have XYZ. Now let's save. When I click, you can see it will return 2 times XYZ. When I just refresh, when I click, it will return XYZ. Okay, if you want to know in 2 index what we have, I just provide 1. Now let's save. When I click, you can see PQR is printed. Similarly, we can provide 2. Now let's save. When I click here, you can see EFG is printed. Okay, I just remove this. And I use length. And now let's save. When I click here, you can see it will print 3 because we have 3 number of classes: XYZ, PQR and EFG. This is how we can use classList method. Now we are going to see how we can target parent node and child node, and we can also see we can target siblings, next sibling, previous sibling with the help of DOM targeting method. Now first see what is parent, what is child, what is sibling, and what is next sibling, and what is previous sibling. Okay, now for that we have to just go to the down, and I just use this. Now here A is a parent node because it is at the top of our tree, so that is A is parent node, or you can say parent element. Okay, I use node, you can say element also. Now because we start from our left, this is our first element or node, and is similarly moving this direction, this is our last node. Okay, now these all A, B, C, D, E, F are sibling. Okay, and we want to know when we are targeting this, we know that this is T. We want to know the next sibling of T because we are moving from here to this direction. That's why the next to D is E. This is next sibling of T. And if we want to know the previous sibling of T, which is C, because we are moving in this direction, just before D is C. Okay, now we can similarly find the sibling of B and C, E and F, next and previous. We don't have B previous sibling because we don't have here anything, and we don't have next sibling of F. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement this in our JavaScript. Okay, now we will see how we can implement parent node and parent element node. For that I create a document. Here you can see we have outer div and then inner div. Inside inner we have 1 2 3 4 5 in another div. Okay, now first of all we start our coding. I will provide you the link of document that I am using. Okay, don't worry about the code. This is the code where I just declare outer div, inner div, and I provide the outer id, inner id to the inner div and outer div, and similarly we provide the class to style the boxes. Okay, now after that we now we are targeting our div. Okay, for that we use var a equals to document.getElement
by id, and after that I provide inner because I want to target the inner parent. For that I use dot parent element, and after that we use console.log, and after that I use a. Now let's save. Now for I'm coming here, and now we have to click inspect, and after that we go to the console. You can see our inner div is targeted. Similarly, if we want to target outer div parent, we can use outer. Now let's save. You can see the outer div parent is body. Here I provide the id to body is me. Now let's check the parent of body. Now let's save. You can see we got error because we use here elements or we are not defining here id. Now let's save. The error is gone. You can see the parent of body is HTML. Okay, now if we provide here HTML and I provide the id to HTML, like here I provide id to our HTML, let's say main2. Now let's save, and here I provide main2. Now let's save. You can see we get null because the HTML is the parent of all the element that we are using in HTML document, so we don't have any parent of HTML. Okay, but if we use here parentNode, parentNode, and let's save, you can see it will give the result because it will try to find the at least one result to give you. You can see the document is the parent of HTML. It means whole the document. You can see whole the document. Okay, other things are similar. If you use here, just we start from inner. Now let's save. You can see it give us outer. If you provide outer, now let's save. You can see it will give us body and with id main. Okay, if we provide here main, which is our body, now let's save, it will give us HTML. But if we provide HTML, it will still give us a result. Okay, now similarly I just remove this and I use inner, and after that I use element here, element. Now after that I want to change the color of our parent div, outer div. For that I just copy here. Okay, now I paste here, and after that I use dot style, and after that I use background equals to, now this is yellow, I change with red. Now let's save. You can see we can also change the CSS of parent div with the help of parentElement or parentNode. You can also use parentNode. Here I use parentNode. Now let's, here we do parentNode. Now let's save. You can see nothing is changed because it is working fine. Similarly we can do this is how we can use this is how we can use parentNode and parentElement node. Now we are going to see children and child node in DOM targeting. Okay, hello friend, in our last video we see how we can target parent node. Okay, in this video we see how we can target children of the parent node. Okay, for example, I have this document of HTML. Here we have outer div, inner div, and within outer div we have outer tag. Within outer div we have h2 tag, within inner div we have h2 tag, then we have 5 div. Okay, this is how it's look like. Okay, now after that I'm going to target the outer div. For that I just use document.getElement by id, and here I provide the id outer, and after that here I change with parent with children. Now after that we print with the help of console.log. Now let's save. You can clearly see we get the HTML collection in the form of array. If I just expand, you can see we have two children of outer div. First is h2 tag that I show you, and after that we have inner div. Okay, and similarly we can target our inner div children. We just use inner. You can see we have inner id of div. Okay, now we are targeting that. Now let's say you can see we got 6 children. Here you can see the length is 6, and first one is our inner, then we have A, then B, then C, then D, then E. Okay, now if we want to target the 0 index children, then we can use square bracket and after that provide 0. Now let's save. You can see we targeting inner div. Okay, and if we want to target one index, you can provide 1. Now let's save. You can clearly see this is our A block div. Okay, here we can change the styling of this index 1 child. Okay, now I just use here children, and after that providing the index 1, and here I use background color red. Now let's save. You can see the color of a block is changed. Now similarly you can change the color of any. If here I provide 0. Now let's save. You can see the inner tag color is changed. Okay, if you provide 5 here, suppose. Now let's save. You can see this color is changed. Okay, this is how you can use inner. This is how you can use children. Now let's see the difference between children and child node. For that we have to just comment this. Okay, now after that we are targeting outer first, outer, and here I use child nodes, and after that let's save. You can see here we have 5 children. You can clearly see text, then h1, then text, then inner, then text. You can see this is 5, but in case of our children it is 1 and 2 only. Okay, why this is giving 3 text more? Because it will count. Here you can see we have an outer. This is 1 enter. This is counting enter also. It count comment, it count anything that we use in our document, it count. For example, I just provide enter, and here I use command plus backslash, and here I provide a comment. Okay, now let's save. You can see now the length of this is now 7. You can see it count comment, and you can see when I provide 2 comment, it will increase the node list by 9. Here you can see we text, h2, then text, then comment, then text, then comment. It will count the enter also. Okay, now after that I just remove. Now let's save. Similarly we can change the styling of our children with the help of child node. For example, I just use here inner. Here also I use inner, and after that I provide here child nodes, and after that I provide the index. First we see the index number. Here we have error. Let's provide 2 first of all. Now let's save. You can see, okay, we have to provide 1. Now let's save. After here you can see we have 13. Here you can see we have 13 child of inner div. Okay, here we have text, then h1, then text, then this box, then text, then this div, then text. Every space, it will count the every single space you provide, but if you provide multiple, then it will only count once. If you enter and provide something, then enter, it will count the 2 extra enter also, okay, as a children of that element. Okay, now here I provide 11 index. You can see the color of 11 index is changed, and when you try to change the color of text, for example, I just use 0 here. Now let's save. You can see we got the error. Why? Because this is just enter. We cannot style any enter in JavaScript or in HTML, so that's why it give us error. If we provide here 1, now let's save, the error is gone and the styling appear. Okay, now we are going to discuss about first child and last child in DOM. The first child, first element child, last child, and last element child. Now let's see what is first child and what is last child. First of all, this is DOM traversal image. Okay, here A is the parent node. Okay, and we start from our left hand side. This is our first node element, or you can say first element, and this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and at the end we have last node or last element of the parent node A. Okay, this is first element, this is last element. Okay, now we will see how we can use first element node and last element node, and after that we see first child and last child. Okay, now in our last video we see how we can use child node and children node. Okay, now we are going to use first element node. Here I just remove this first element child, and after that I'm not going to target first inner, I just use outer. Here I'll show you what is outer, what is inner. Here we have a div with id outer, and inside this div we have outer h2 tag, and after that we have inner div, and inside inner div we have h2 tag, and after that we have 5 div. Okay, now here we target our outer first element child. Now just come here and we have to inspect, and after that we come to the console, because we are using console.log, that's why we use console. The first element of outer div is outer text, or you can say h2 tag. Okay, similarly we can target our inner first element, we can use inner, and after that let's say you can see we have inner. Okay, you can similarly check the first child of body, first child of HTML, and so on. Okay, now after that we can also style with the help of first element child. Just uncommenting this, and I just remove here and provide first element child, and after that I provide here outer first, outer. Now let's save. You can see this is reflecting to the our outer first child, and after that we use inner. Now let's save. See, our h2 is now red color. Similarly we can use last element child. Here we provide last. Here I just comment this, and I use last element child. Here I provide outer. Now let's save. You can see we got this inner div. Okay, and when we change the color of this div with the help of this style, I just uncomment, and here I use last, and I use here outer. Now let's save. Okay, here is the spelling mistake. You can see I just save now, and here you can see the outer div last child is now in red color. You can clearly see. Okay, now similarly we can use here inner last element. We are changing the style of inner div last child. Okay, now here we are also change inner. Now let's save. You can see our last child is now in red color. Okay, now here I use first child. Now let's save. You can see it will return us text. Why? It is something like that we already see in our child node. You can, when I print child nodes, now let's save. You can see we have list of array, and here it give us text which is which is nothing but when we provide enter, it will count that. When we provide comment, it will count also comment. For example, here I use inner, so that I am using inside inner, I just provide a comment hello. I am providing a random text. Now let's save. You can see the length is now 15. Before that it is 12, now it is 15. It increment 3 child. You can see we have comment, and here before this we have text, and after this we have text which is nothing but we provide the enter. So this is how our first child work. You can see. Okay, now I just remove this. Now this is how our first child work. Okay, when we use here last child, it will again provide us text, because after this we have enter. You can see in our HTML, after this box we have enter. That's why this is coming next line. When I just remove this enter, now let's save. You can see now it is targeting our this box. Okay, when we provide here enter, you can see now it is providing us text because it count the space. Okay, if you want to style your element with the help of first child and last child, you have to just remove the enter. So that's it for today's video. In this video we see what is first element child and what is last element child, and also we see the difference between first child and first element child, and last child and last element child. Now we are going to see next element sibling, and after that we see previous element sibling, and we also see next sibling and previous sibling, and what are the difference between next sibling and next element sibling, previous element sibling and previous sibling. First of all, let's see what is this. For example, we are targeting D, and after that we know, if we want to know the next of D, we can clearly see it is E, and if we want to know the previous of D, you can clearly see it is C. Why? We are starting from this direction left to right. Okay, we are moving from left to right. That's why after D we have E, and before D we have C. That's why it is previous and it is next, and these B, C, D, E, F are all our sibling. Okay, now let's see how we can practically implement this. Okay, this is the document we are using. Okay, now here we have first of all our div, outer div, which is having ID outer, and inside this we have h2 tag, and after that we have inner div. Inside inner div we have inner h2 tag, and then we have box A, B, C, D, E. Okay, now let's see how we can find the next sibling. For that we have to just remove this, and here we use next element sibling. Here we have to provide the targeting div. For example, I want to, because if you want to target div, then it will give you nothing. You have to provide the ID to it. For example, if you want to target this, you have to provide id. Here I provide outer head. Okay, I just copy this and paste here. Now let's see the next sibling of outer head. Now let's save. You can see we have inner div is this is our inner div, okay, with inner id. Now similarly we can target, for example, inside inner we have child c div. Now I just paste here child hyphen c. Now let's save. You can see we got the box D, and we can style with the help of our id name. I just uncomment, and here I just remove this and provide this id, and after that I use here next element sibling. Now let's save. You can see our next element of C is D, and the color of D is now changed. You can clearly see. Now similarly we can use previous element sibling. I just use, now here also I just provide previous element sibling. Okay, now let's save. You can see now this color is red. Why? Because before C it is P, or you can see this. Okay, we are targeting this box div. You can see the value also. Just scroll down. Okay, you can find the value also. Okay, now after that, now I want to ask you a question. What is the previous sibling of A, and what is the next sibling of E? Can you answer it? If you know, just comment in comment box. Okay, now I will show you the previous sibling of A. I just provide inner box A id child hyphen A. I just copy this, and here I paste, provide here also A. Now let's save. You can see the previous sibling of A is inner, but if we want to try to find the previous sibling of h2 tag, I just provide id equals to head. Now here I provide head. Okay, head, or here also we provide head. Now let's save. You can see we got the error. Why? Because before inner we don't have anything in this inner div. Okay, that's why we don't have any sibling of head. If I just comment this, because we cannot style the null. Let's save. You can see the error is gone, but we have null value. Similarly, we provide next here, next, and here I just provide the id to our id E. Now I just paste. Now here I provide the id of last element E. Now let's save. What is the next sibling of E? You can see we got another null. This is because we don't have any next sibling of the last element. We don't have previous sibling of any first element. Now let's see the difference between previous sibling and previous element sibling. First I just use here C. Now let's save. You can see it will give us text. You can see here after C we have an enter, that's why it is counting as a string. Similarly, if you provide next here, now let's save. It will again give us text. Why? Because before that we also have an enter, that's why it is give us this text. When we are targeting parent node, children node, first child, last child, next sibling, previous sibling, this all are giving us the all the thing that is present in the document, enter, comment, space, everything. But when we are using parent element, children, first element child, last element child, next element sibling, previous element sibling, we are using element. It will give us the HTML tag that we are present. Okay, and when we are using parent node, node, child node, then it all give us the thing that is present in the document, space, comment, and so on. DOM create method. We have three type of create method. First is we can create HTML element with the help of DOM create method. We can create text with the help of create text node, and we can also create comment in JavaScript. You know this, that we have comment in the form of like angular bracket, then exclamation mark, then double hyphen, and after that we have text here, any comment. Okay, now after that we have again hyphen, and after that angular bracket. We can create a comment with the help of create comment DOM method, and we can create text node with the help of create text node, and we can create p tag, h2 tag, h1 tag, and so on, any tag with the help of create element. Now we will see how practically we implement create method of DOM. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement create DOM create method. Okay, first of all we have two files, index.html and script.js. I connect my JavaScript with the help of script tag. Okay, now we will see how we can create element with the help of DOM create method. Okay, now we will see how we can create element with the help of DOM create method. For that we use a variable var create element, and after that we use equal, and then we use, because we are using DOM, that's why we use document dot create element, and after that we provide the name of the element that we want to create in quotes. For example, I use p tag. Okay, now after that I used to close it with the help of semicolon. Now let's use console.log, and after that we use here create element. This is our variable. Now after that we provide semicolon. Let's save. You can see this is our document. Now let's console this with the help of double click and go to the inspect, and after that our inspect is open. Now we will see what is printed. You can see this is p tag. If we change here p to h2 tag, for example h2 tag, let's save. You can see we created h2 tag. Similarly we can provide any tag. For example, if you want to span, use span, and let's save. You can see it print span, and when you scroll it will provide you the characteristics of span. Okay, now I'm using h1 tag. Okay, now after that we see how we can create text. For that we use var create, here I use text node. Okay, now after that we use equal, and here we provide document dot create text node, and after that we provide the text in quotes. For example, I choose hello friend, welcome to bro learner. Okay, now after that we close with the help of semicolon. After that we use console.log. Okay, after that we use create text node. This is our variable that store the value of hello friends, welcome to bro learner. Now let's save. You can see we got the text here. Okay, now if you want to provide more text, you can provide thousands of text with the help of document.getElement. Okay, now after that we create var create comment, and after that we use equal, and then we use document dot create comment. Now after that we provide the round braces, and in round braces we provide the code, and here we don't need to provide the angular bracket and exclamation mark and then double hyphen. We don't require that. We just use simply the text. This is a simple comment. Now let's say after that we have to just provide semicolon, and here we use console.log, and here we provide create comment, and here we provide the semicolon again. Now let's say, you can see we got this is a simple comment. Now we will see the two method, which is append child and insert before. This is two method used to insert the element or text node that we create with the help of DOM create method. Now we will see how practically we implement append child and insert before. Okay, this is the document that we were using in our last video. In this video we create h1 element with the help of document.getElement, and we create text node with the help of document.getExtNode. Okay, now we will see how we can append this text in our h1 tag. For that we use create element, this is our element, dot append child, and after that we provide round bracket, and here we provide the name of the text node, which is create text node. Okay, now after that we use semicolon, and here we have to print the, I just remove from here and just paste the console.log here. I just paste here. Now let's save, and after that we see in console, you can see in our h1 tag we have hello friend, welcome to pro learner. Okay, now we will see how we can display this h1 tag in our this gray div. Okay, I provide here the styling and that div tag. You can see this is our div tag and styling, and this is empty. You can see we have this container id. For that we have to target this. We have to use here var target, and after that we use document.getElement by id, and here we provide the id name, which is our container. After that we use target dot append child, and here we provide what we have to append is create element. Now after that we provide semicolon. Now let's save. You can see hello friend and welcome to bro learner is printed. You can clearly see this is how we can append with the help of append child. Okay, but you can see this is append at the end of the HTML tag. For example, if we have here, if I provide h1 tag, and here I provide heading, and after that we provide paragraph, for example, and here I provide dummy text, and hit enter. Now let's say, you can see first we have heading, and after that we have that dummy text, and at the end we have hello friend, welcome to Bro Learner. After append child, we see this is appending the children at the end. You can clearly see here we provide the heading and lorem in our element. For example, you can see we have in this div we have our h1 tag and p tag, which is our document. Okay, in our document, which is in our document. Okay, now after that we append this hello friend, welcome to Bro Learner, which is at the end. Now we will see how we can append at the top of our div. Okay, for that we have to just use, I just comment this, and after that we use here, we have to use target dot insert before, and after that we provide the round bracket, and here we provide what we want to insert. We want to insert create element, and after that we provide the semicolon, and we provide target dot child node, and after that we provide the from where we have to insert. We want to insert before the first node, which is 0 node. Okay, now let's save. You can see this is our document. Now this is inserted before the heading, and heading is the 0th index, and this is inserted before that. Okay, now if we provide 1 here, you can see it inserted after heading. Now let's save. Nothing is happened. Why? Because it count the text first. Okay, here I just use not text, here I just use 2. Now let's save. Now you can see it is heading is our first, and this is at the second position. If we want to insert after lorem or dummy text, we provide here at the 4th index. Just provide 4th. Now let's save. You can see it is inserted at the end, which is by default with the help of target dot append child. So this is how we can use insert element with the help of append child and insert before if we want to insert at a particular position. In our last video we see append child and insert before. It is work we already know. Append child, append the element or text at the last of the HTML document, and insert before is used to insert at a particular location. And after that we have insert adjacent element, and after that we have insert adjacent HTML, and after that we have insert adjacent text. It is used to insert the tag only, HTML tag only. With the help of adjacent element we can insert tag with text, and with the help of insert adjacent text we can only insert the text. And what is the difference between these two and these three? The main difference is in this we first create, then we append, and after that we insert in our document. But with the help of this we can just create and append in our document. Okay, this is the main difference. You can see here, you can see we can, with the help of adjacent element, we can create any tag of the HTML. With the help of HTML, adjacent HTML, we can just create and insert tag and text also. And with the help of insert adjacent text we can only insert the text. Here we have position also. In previous we only have position in this insert before with the help of child node. Okay, and we provide the index. But here we can provide where we want to insert. For example, this is a div with id This is a div with id container. Now if we targeting this and we want before this div we want to insert the created element, then we use before beginning. It means before the beginning of this div it is inserted, and if we use after beginning it insert at the top of this div, because after beginning of this div it insert the created element. And before the end means before ending of this div, after we include all the things that we have in our document of this id div, it will insert this created element at the end of this div. Okay, if we provide after end, it means after ending of this div it will insert this created element. Okay, this is how it will work. Now we will see how we can practically implement this. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement this. Okay, for that I have this document. I just modify a little bit. You can see I change the color from previous video, it is gray. Okay, I just remove the heading also. Now I just connect JavaScript file. You can see both of in the same directory, that's why I just provide the name of the file with extension. Okay, now this is our JavaScript. I just use, for example, first we see insert adjacent element. For that we have to just create var new element, and after that we use equal, and then use document dot create element. We have to create the element, and after that we provide the code, and here we use h1 tag or h2 tag suppose, and after that we use semicolon, and then we use var new text, and after that we use equal, and again we use document dot create text node. Okay, this is the way that we already see in our last video. Okay, after that we provide this is a text. Okay, now after that we use semicolon, and then we use var, and then we use the keyword target, and after that we use document dot get element by id name, and here we are targeting our div container with id container. Okay, here we provide id container. Okay, now after that we use semicolon, and here we use target dot insert adjacent element, and after that we have to provide the position. For that we use after beginning. Okay, now after that we use comma, and here we use the element that we want to insert. We want to insert h2 tag, that's why we use new element. Now after that I use semicolon. Now let's save. You can see nothing is changed in this document, or you cannot see any tag is added. Why? Because this tag is empty. We don't have any text within this heading to text tag. Okay, now if I use console, you can see already it is open, and here you can see inside this div we have h2 tag, and after that we have p tag. Okay, now if I just change the position before, I just use before beginning. Now let's save. You can see now it is in the top of this. Before this div we have h2 tag. Okay, this is how we can use insert adjacent element. Okay, now if we insert this is our text in this h2 tag, you can clearly see how it will insert in our document. For that we use new element dot append child, and after that we provide the name of the child that we want to append, new text. Now let's say you can see we have this is before the beginning of the step. If we use after beginning, then here we use after. Now let's say, you can see this is inserted successfully. You can also change after end here, and now let's save. You can see we have at the end. We can also provide after beginning. Now let's save. You can see we have this is a text here. Okay, now after that we have to just comment this all out. Okay, now after that we just create a variable where new element, and after that we use here in quote h2 tag. In quote we use h2 tag, and after that we provide the text. This is a heading. Now after that we have to close this h2 tag. Now after that, okay, now after that here it is element. We want to insert HTML, then that's why we use HTML. Now it is working fine. We want to include this tag. We want to include this element after beginning. Now let's save. You can see this is a heading. Before that this is a text. Okay, now this is a heading. If we want to change the position, for example, after end, now let's save. You can see it is included after end. We can provide any tag. If you want to provide here p, just use p, and I just remove this, for example, p. Now let's save. You can see it is now p tag. Okay, now after that we use insert adjacent text. Okay, for that we have to just remove this p tag. I just use the same example. You can choose different also. Okay, now it is targeting our div, that's why it is working fine. Now here I just use text. Okay, if we have to just change this is a sample text. Okay, now let's save. You can see it is sample text, and it is seems like it is a paragraph, but it is a text. If we want to insert before, after, begin, now let's save. You can see it is added to here. You can change the position according to you. Now we are going to see replace child and remove child in DOM. Okay, now we will see how we can practically implement remove child and replace child in JavaScript. Okay, for that I have first an order list, and after that within this we have oranges, apple, banana, blueberry. You can see the result also here. Okay, now we will see how we can use that. Now for that I just include JavaScript file in our HTML. Now here we have to code. For that we just use where new element equals to document dot create element. Now after that we provide the tag name. For example, we use li list item, and after that we provide semicolon, and here we provide where new text equals to document dot create text node. Okay, now here I use guava. After that we provide semicolon, and then we use new element dot append child, and here we use new text. Okay, Now after that we provide where target equals to document dot get element by id name, and here we provide the id of the unordered list, which is list. Here we provide list. Okay, now after that we use a variable where old element. You can choose any name, I just use for my convenience. Here I use target, and after that dot children, and here I provide which children we want to replace. For example, I want to replace the orange with guava. For that I just use this, and after that we provide semicolon. Now we use here target dot replace child, and after that we provide by which we want to replace. For that we use new element, comma, and we want what element we want to replace. For that we use old element. Now after that I use semicolon. Now let's save. You can see orange is replaced by guava. Okay, if we want to change here at the first index we have apple. If we want to change apple with guava, we can use index 1. Now let's save. You can see oranges remain the same and apple is changed with guava. Okay, if we provide here 3, now blueberry is changed with guava. Okay, now let's save. You can clearly see this is how it works. After replace we have remove child. For that just we use here remove, and we have to comment this all because we don't need that. Okay, here we provide the element that we want to remove. We are targeting this list with the help of id list. Okay, now here we provide the children number 3, and we have to just remove all of this. We just use old element. Now let's save. You can see the last element is removed, the blueberry is removed. If here we provide index number 0, now let's save. You can see apple is here, first one, orange is removed. In our document you can clearly see we have orange, apple, banana and blueberry. This is how you can replace and remove child from a document. Okay, how we can use clone node. For that I have 2 lists. First unordered list is list 1 and another is list 2. Okay, now this is the file format of my document. Okay, this is index.html. Within this folder we have script.js, and I connect this script with the help of script tag. Now after that here I use where target equals to document dot get element by id, and here I provide the list 1 id because we are targeting this list. Okay, here we provide list 1, and after that we use dot, and here we provide children. Why? Because it has children, 1 children, 2 children, 3 and 4. It has 4 children. Okay, and we provide the index which value we have to copy or clone. Okay, now after that we use where copy element equals to target dot clone node, and after that we provide round braces, and after that we provide the semicolon. It required parameter, but boolean parameter, true or false. Now first see without parameter. Let's print this with the help of console.log. After that we provide copy element and then semicolon. Now let's say you can see nothing is changed. Why? Because we are using console, so we have to inspect and go to the console. Okay, we go to here, you can see we have list without any value, without any text node. Why? Because it has parameter either true or false. By default, if we not provide, it is false. If we provide here true, now let's say we got the element with text node. Okay, if we provide false, you can see false. Now let's say it will give you only the list, not the text value. Why? Similarly, if we change the children number 0 to 1, you can see we copy the first element, and now we are going to append this. Now after copying, we have to append this in our this element. We have to append this in our another list. Okay, for that we use var target 1 equals to document.getElement by id, and after that we provide the id name list 2, and here we use semicolon. Now we use target 1 dot append child, and here we provide the name of the child that we want to append. This is copy element. Now after that we provide semicolon, or we can directly do this in single line without any variable. I just cut this and paste here. Okay, I just remove, and we don't need this because we don't need to store this in any variable. Now let's save. You can see the change. We got apple here also. Okay, similarly you can append of any div, paragraph or h1 text or element with the help of childNode. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Hope you like this video. If you did, please subscribe my channel, share with your friend, and bye bye.